Hello everybody, my name is That Joe Guy, and welcome to the Stanley Parable. So, I don't know anything at all about this game, although this opening screen suggests something a little bit meta, but it has been recommended to me umpteen billion times, and I've always kind of wanted to play it, and I've always wanted to LP it as well, so here we are doing exactly those things. Here we go. If you're new to this channel, I just want to quickly say to introduce myself that I am a big story gamer, like to focus a lot on that, and that's more or less what you need to know. I think this is a story-based entirely game, so you can probably surmise that much, but hey-ho, it's still true. So I like to think about the story a lot. It's kind of why I'm interested in this, but I don't want to make any assumptions about it. The only thing I know about this game is an odd one. And perhaps to illustrate that point, going through the options earlier, I noticed this. Achievement. Enabled. Oh. Yeah, rack them up. Look at that. Now that is cool. Yeah, like, as I say, maybe a little bit meta. And as for this here, saves, I do want that enabled. It's kind of weird that it starts off disabled, suggests that this is maybe going to be quite a short game. I don't know how long this game is, but due to recording concerns primarily, I want to enable saves. I really don't care about achievements, so I'm probably going to... It might just be that one achievement. No idea. Either way, we're going to leave that disabled. Everything else is fine. I'm using a controller. I don't know why that's relevant to you, but it is. End is never. The end is never. The end is never. The end is never. The end is loading. Oh, joy. I love the end.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Good for him.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow.
Oh, no.
No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Did I? I appear to be in control. This is my office. There are many like it, but this one is mine. Now, what the hell are the controls? Right, LB appears to be to crouch. Hello. Quite the crouch. I'm getting visual glitches. It's possibly something to do with my video settings. I'm going to see if I can fix that. Hang on. Alright, well, I'm getting some trails and stuff like that, but it's not coming out in the final video, so I am groovy. Do I have a message or something? I don't even know what the use key is. Didn't... Okay, interesting. Like, I press A on these folders and they... Whoa!
Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy Forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer.
All right.
Here it comes.
Oop. Okay, good. The game was taking the mick out of me there. I was gonna say, just when I click A anywhere except my computer, I get this. I don't know. That's kind of weird. Okay. Nobody else's office is open. I'm assuming I do go out into this corridor.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Maybe.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Who farted? Nice. Huh. What's this here? Can I zoom? No, I can crouch, but not zoom. Whoop. Well, I ain't coming back on. The meeting room, huh? You know, I've had mornings like this where it just seems like the entire world has not showed up for work. That's nice. No, not there.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Shut up! This is just logic, alright? Username access. I don't know if I can read that from here. Maybe if only my field of vision was slightly shorter. So I increased it slightly. What a fool I am. I'd be zoomed in right now, able to... Oh well. Can't read it. Awaiting input. Alright. You've received input. Well done. I'm just turning shit off now. It would help if I knew where the meeting room was. Do people just leave filing cabinets open? Alright, well, the meeting room's gotta be around here somewhere. I hate Mondays too, man. We should hate Mondays together sometime. I'm just counting down here. Is that the meeting room? Looks kind of meeting-y.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Did I now? Oh ho ho. Yeah, okay, you know, I'm game. This guy seems to know what he's talking about. I complied. The man has nothing to say. This game seems quite divergent. Another clue to this is the option to begin the game again from the start menu. 413. Looks like I went in the right order. Okay. Still nada. Meeting room. Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Meeting schedule room. Financial panic meeting. Uh-huh. This box is too small. Weekly target admin. It's upside down. 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, for an efficient looking office, this thing isn't very efficiently laid out. Everybody knows you have stuff on the top when you're using spreadsheets. Everybody knows that. Plus, usually I'm on computers and available on a public registry drive so that everybody can access it. RIP France. Targets. Push for funding for R&D of new coffee machine. Oh, joy. Get Chris out of the broom closet. Hire someone to synergize papers. Papers are to synergize. Fire paper guy. Hire somebody to fire the paper synergizing guy. Who moved my desk? Please keep the targets off on the topic of unknown employee 417. Do you know, I've already forgotten my number. I think it was 427, 437. What the hell employee am I again? Complete today's unfinished agenda items. Right next to his agenda. Reflect. Enjoy. Oh, so this is going by itself. Uh-huh. Nice. Don't get fired. Yeah, good tip. Had to solve a dispute with a co-worker. Let it ball up inside. You take it out passive-aggressively on other co-workers. Resent co-workers for not supporting you more. Ah, good times. Using slides to ensure employees that everything is okay. Make sure your slide has a slick blue graphic in the header and throw some bevel on all the text. Calm and productive working environment. Everyone is unique. You most of all. Yeah, is it bad that I've already forgotten my number? I'm definitely not 417. Number of slides on this slide. Well, that's just confusing. But please go on. Rates at which the charts on the same slide depict the same information. Alright? Rate of increaser. Okay. What are you doing? Okay. Start with the top 20 things you love most about your boss. Fill it in triplicate and return to your boss appreciation specialist. I'm reminded of the beginning of Fallout 3. Oh joy. Okay. Okay, interesting. A boat. Pollution, less air, hope, clear skin, metamorphosis, travel success. God, I'm just gonna sit back and enjoy the PowerPoint, honestly. No, okay, it's over now. Fair enough. What do people want? Things, money. More money, things, but money to buy with graphs. What is hot? Target demographic teenager. So we're marketing people then. Stripes, more secondary research. The stock market is somewhere here. Coloured in segment. Yes, it is. Death sport portion in the primary review schedule. Okay. More water coolers, more water cooler heaters. Charts need to be more hip. Teenagers put in teenage demographic. Big net. Big net to fill the demographic. Work harder, hard worker. No more bins, trash cans, renaming of idea. Okay. Throw something in the ideas bin. Spare space between teenagers. Right, interesting. Is this made using, what the hell do they call it? A Half-Life 2 engine? Because some of these objects and stuff like that are looking very familiar. This game is made by something like a company called Galactic Cafe, who I swear I tried to get them into the video. I may have even succeeded eventually, but the fact is that I need to hit F9 to record fraps, and hitting F9 skips the screen which says Galactic Cafe, so it's kind of like it's kind of a vicious circle. Like, can you get up there or something? I can't get any further into the chairs. It's just not happening, and I think I maybe have milked this room almost dry. Monetize free to play. Any robots in the vicinity just died. In fact, no, that makes complete sense. Broom closet. Who was it that was trapped in the broom closet? Was Chris. Hey Chris, are you there? Because if you're not there and you've left with the rest of them, then at least that's kind of progress.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
That's what you think. Look, there's a spool here with the nuclear symbol on it.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
But you put so much work into it, I just want to appreciate the assets, dude. Fine. Carry on.
coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Curious as to what's downstairs. World of possibility here. Scary looking possibility.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. "I'm dreaming!" he yelled. "This is all a dream." Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
Almost everything.
Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
No dice, huh?
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Holy shit.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Yep, turned and ran. I can sympathize. I truly can. The fuck, game? Oh, here we are again. 427. I thought it was 427. Okay. This is interesting.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.